The Local Show, featuring conversations with business owners, employees, and local business leaders about their successes, challenges, and reasons for doing business. Right here in Central New York. The Local Show is locally produced by Zoey Advertising. Now your hosts, Tom and Steve.
Back at it again. To put a smile on your face, this is the Steve Roberts Variety Show.
You kill me every time.
On 570 WSYR, otherwise known as The Local Show.
Oh my gosh, Tom.
Well, as long as you're having fun, and that's what counts, right?
Tom, and I know I've said it 100 times before. When we started this thing, you're the radio guy with the golden voice. I'm like, Tom, let's do a radio show. You do it. And you were like, no. I'm going to drag you into this, like it or not, and that's how it happened, pretty much.
Radio has served me well, Steve. It's kept me just above the poverty line, and I appreciate that a lot.
Didn't you think when you were a kid that, maybe you didn't, when you were a young kid, people on the radio were making like $1 zillion a year?
Actually, back then, in the 70s and 80s, they were.
Oh, okay.
And then it just took a dive really fast. By the time I started and graduated and everything, then it went down. And that just goes to the point, Steve, that there's somebody after me, and there is a anti-Tom barrier somewhere. And I truly believe that.
Well, I don't know. I'm not after you, Tom.
Yeah, well, thanks.
Like it or not, I consider you a friend.
I know. That's weird, isn't it?
I sat on your, not deck, your patio. It wasn't a deck. We cleared that up last time. Yeah.
That you were my friend. Yeah.
Yes, that proved it.
Well, of course, you had 5 beers, so
I did not have 5 beers. You saw me when I have 2, and I said I'm done because that's what I do.
That's right. You're a good boy like that. Hey, we've got Alan Poushter with us right now. He's the owner of Ra-Lin's. How are you there, Alan?
Good. How you guys doing?
Very good, my friend. You know, my grandparents I grew up like on a Highland Ave. They had a big house up on Highland Ave, and any time that my grandfather would say we got to get an electronic device, it was always over to Ra-Lin's.
Yeah.
Come on, Tommy, we got to go down to Ra-Lin's.
Yeah, that's very common. A lot of our customers, either parents or grandparents, lived on the near north side in that area.
Well, we would trek it from Cicero with the same thing.
Right.
We would come down from, if you had to buy something, you went to, it was the place you went to.
Right.
And then when I got bit by the camera bug when I was 12 years old, oh my gosh, you guys got my grandchildren's inheritance, all because every dollar was spent there. It was saving for a lens, and you guys were great at it. The customer service was great. The people behind the counter knew cameras and knew stuff. They weren't just selling you stuff.
Right. Yeah. That's the big thing about Ra-Lin is our employees really know what they're talking about. We have people in different departments. The major appliance people have been there for years, and they know what they're talking about.
A lot of photo paper, 5x7 resin-coated paper, Microdol X, Dectol, D76, all those things, and certainly some cameras too.
I want to hear Alan's history. So did you start the store?
Well, actually it was started by my father-in-law back in 1953.
Gotcha.
And they were actually up in Mattydale, and then they moved to Burnett Avenue in 1960.
Okay.
And we've been there ever since.
And what was his original idea for this store? What was the concept?
The main concept was, at that point, all the other stores were selling at full retail. You know, there was just department stores. Mm-hmm. And the concept was right from the beginning that we would sell it at lower prices, and lower than regular retail.
Right. Yeah. And what would you sell? Because there just seems to be such a variety of product there.
Yes, well, it was a department store, but it really started out with electronic TV. But major appliances has always been our big thing.
Of course,
at point, cameras were big, and of course that went away. And small electronics and jewelry, sporting goods. So it was like a discount department store where we had everything.
Right, and that was it was like eBay or an online store before they were popular, right?
Right,
you know, it was that kind of thing.
Or the old 800 numbers, if you remember.
I remember
we used to buy things with the 800 number.
Yeah,
right.
So he was Crazy Eddie, but he was Crazy Alan before Crazy Eddie was Crazy Eddie.
Right, before Crazy.
Well, all I know is when I walked into that place, you know, as a young man, my eyes light up. You know, it's just, wow, they got so much stuff. And
you'd walk in, and the sportsman shop part is still there, right?
Right, they're in the very front.
Right. Do you sell firearms?
Yes, that's a sublease. That's the only thing that we don't own ourselves.
Oh,
As
okay.
a sublease division, yes, but we still do.
But you've been doing that for a while now.
Forever, since 1960, since they opened up.
Since they opened up, okay.
Since they opened up that location.
That is wonderful. What a jewel in the community. You know,
Right,
it really is.
Yeah, we have jewelry too.
Oh, yeah, they got jewelry.
There's jewelry. You hit it right. But again, the main thing now is major appliances. Cameras have gone away from the phone.
Yeah,
We used to
of
sell Walkmans and all this stuff. The small
Yeah.
electronics that all went to the phone.
You still have TVs.
Yeah, so
right?
TVs are still big.
Right.
Still big. And
Now, how do you compete with the bigger box store? Of course, some of the big box stores went out.
Yeah.
So that left you.
Well, we have to compete by being competitive on their
Price.
We have to match the Lowe's and Home Depot pricing. That's how we compete.
And it seems like, my experience over the last 40 years, you guys know what you're talking about.
Well,
and that
that's
seems everywhere. It doesn't just seem it was the camera stuff back in the day.
Right, no, it was everything.
But when you walk in, someone, hey, there's 3 large TVs. What's the difference? They're $200 price. They'll tell you.
Right. There's an expert in every department. What I say now is my major appliance department people have been there longer than Lowe's and Home Depot have been open. So,
Oh, wow.
So most of my people have been with me 20, 30 years,
Right.
some approaching 40 years. And again, they don't work all over. The people who sell major appliances just sell major appliances. The camera guy's a camera guy. The
Right.
jewelry
Right.
person.
Now, Alan, do you do anything online? Did you guys kind of develop into online?
We do a little bit online, but it's mostly people coming in and want a personal service in the answer.
Well, you buy, and I think there's a little bit of I'll call it a scam. I don't know if it's a scam. Hey, I buy something through Amazon. Postage is included. Well, you're not shipping a 200-pound refrigerator or something.
That's true, yeah,
free.
yeah.
So somewhere that money's made up, and it's got to be made up in the price. Is that fair?
Absolutely. And that's the thing with major appliances. You got to get them to you. It's different than ordering something smallish. That's why our main thing now has become the major.
Right. So let's talk about how things have changed on the north side from 1960 to now.
Yeah.
Has it impacted your business? Because it's kind of, I remember a day when my grandfather and I would walk from Highland Ave down to Ra-Lin's.
No kidding.
Yeah, and then we go over to DiGiulio's and all
Right,
that.
DiGiulio's.
Oh, my gosh, I love that
and
place.
we'd walk with, and there wasn't a fear, there wasn't any, it was just a beautiful walk.
Yeah, it's coming back, actually. The neighborhood
it?
hasn't been improving over the last 5 or 6 years. And, of course, now they're going to have an exit off 690 right on Krause Ave, a half a block from our store.
Very nice.
And that's going to be the main exit off 690. They're going to close the downtown, the McBride exit. So if you go downtown, and the other thing, if you're coming in from the east and you want to go to up to SU or the hospitals,
Right.
instead of getting off, you won't be able to get off at Adams Street. You'll be getting off at Krause Ave.
Right.
So we're looking. The future looks very
Looks good,
bright. Looks
okay.
really bright.
And of course, you have all the firearms there, so I'm sure you're not worried about security
yes,
or
we
anything.
don't have to worry about security. That's right. And the other thing, if we do have an issue, the police respond very quickly.
Good,
Because they don't. Of course, there are big customers are the police and
Right.
for the fire, and they respond very quickly if anything happens down there.
My good friend, what's his name, is working. He was such a good friend. What's his? No, and I feel bad. I think his name is Dan. Is he in the cameras?
Yeah, he's still there.
We went to Corcoran together.
Yeah, he's still there. He's a great employee.
Yeah.
And Dan helped
he's
me out with something. I was looking for something
Yeah.
like that. Dan,
Again,
Very
in the
knowledgeable.
camera
Very
department, there's
knowledgeable.
a specialist.
Since high school, he's been a photo bug.
Right. All the people who are in the departments, they're kind of into whatever
Yeah.
they're selling. That's their life outside the store.
into
too.
washers and dryers, but
right.
but they know their stuff.
And they know their stuff.
I sometimes I just forgot about you, and I mean that in a
right.
kind of because I have fond memories, great experiences, no reason not to go there. It's like, oh yeah,
Right. It happened that we hear that all the time. There's so much outside chatter, and of course, it is hard to advertise. Before it was just a few radio stations and the
Sure.
newspaper.
Now there's everything,
and the 3
yeah,
stations and 3 TV stations, and that was it. And so it was easy.
Well, you give us all your money, we'll find a way to spend it.
yeah. You're good at that.
We're
You
good
guys
at
are good at that.
it's a gift. Yes.
Thank you so much, Alan Poushter, right there, and thank you for being a gem in our community. We appreciate that. Owner of Ra-Lin's. Have a great rest of the day.
You two guys, and thanks for all you guys do too.
Well, thank you. Maureen Kaljeski's coming up next. She's a certified podorthist at Syracuse Orthopedic Specialists. Keep it right here on the local show on 570 WSYR.